is very basic of statistics. So whenever we start with the statistics, mean, mode, and median, this is something which we study first. But when we look at all the three things, there is a difference in all the three things, and we should understand like when we need to use a particular value, like when to use mean, when to use mode, or when to use median. And if some people want to take a undue advantage, they may use a mean in case of median and then manipulate with data. So one typical example could be when we are actually looking at the average income in a company, so in a country. So in this case, I will actually talk about the household income in United States. So I had collected the data for the year 2014. Now, if you understand a developed country like United States, and generally the mean uh, income in United States in the year 2014 was like $55,000 dollars per year. And if you look at the median, it is like 53,700. So the question is now whether you will take a mean as the data or whether you will take the median as the data. So this is where your thinking comes in. So if someone comes and tells me that the mean of United States is like 55,000, so that is on a higher side. But if I look at the median, that is like $53,000, that is at a lower side. So when I am sitting in government or a government wants to take some decision, so whether they should be considering the mean or median value, these are the questions which could be really troubling. And the people who are sitting for taking policy decisions, if they don't understand the difference between mean or median, this could be really problematic. Now, like all of you know, mean is like 50 percentage of the population is above it and 50 is below it. That is what, sorry, median. That is what median means. And mean is just the average of the data. Now, the problem is when we are looking at the income levels, uh, it is better always to take mean. So the mean will be like 53,700, and I will tell you the reason for this. As you know, mean actually gets affected by the outliers. If I look at the country like United States, so you see there are people over here. These are the people who earn in billions of dollars, and there are a lot of poor people also in United States. So when I am considering the mean income, this very high income people drive the mean value to a higher level compared to the median. So we would be wrongly thinking that the people in United States actually earn more. But when the government is looking at making a policy decision, it is always better to go for the median value, because median is something which is not affected by outliers. So if you have a lot of outliers in your data, still you will observe that the median value, that is like 53,700, won't change. But if you have a lot of outliers in your data, your mean value will definitely increase. So if you have a lot of rich people over here, then this value will be even higher, even though you have a lot of people who are at the lower end of the graph. So when you are looking at population, when you are looking at income levels, sometimes it is better to consider median, and sometimes there are cases where mean would be a better value. But as a data scientist, as a policy maker, anyone should know the difference of all these things when they are talking about data. Now this picture is very significant. Now in developed countries, to have a decent level of life, generally people should earn something around $50,000 or like for at least above $40,000. So if you look at United States, this is very interesting data. Whatever you see in brown or red kind of color, so people here earn like close to $20,000. So you see, like area wise, if you look at the country, most of the people actually earn less than the median income what we have shown in the graph. So generally, we here in India and all tend to believe like people in United States are like very rich, but that is not the case. If you see the richest people in US, and also the population is very high in these areas. So the blue places are the places where people earn very high. If you see the scale, like it is like more than $1 lakh. So in very few places in the country, you will see that people earn more. But rest of the United States, even though the population is less in all these areas, they do have a lower income. So when government makes a policy or something, so they have to consider this kind of people and then work it out. My next example will be something related to cricket, and the question is, who is the better batsman? So I will take an example of these three people: Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid, and Sehwag. These are the three great Indian batsmen who were playing when I was in college at KK Wagh. So there would be times when we would bunk college to watch them bat. So the present players I don't know much. Uh, but if I ask you this question, who is a better batsman out of these three? Uh, Everyone would have a judgment about this. And if I like Sachin Tendulkar more, I may say Sachin is better. I may say Dravid, or someone may say Sehwag also. But if you look at this picture does give you an indication. So who is the better batsman? And when I made this presentation, so it was like a year back, and last year or very recently, like couple of months back, Wisdom published the best Indian batsman for last 50 years. So I think this. So what I did was I collected their batting averages for Test cricket. So if you look at Sachin Tendulkar, his overall average is like close to 54. Dravid is 52 and Sehwag is like 34. Sorry, for 49. Now, but what is very interesting in cricket is generally a batsman is very good if he can score well outside India. So if you look at the statistics here, when they are playing outside Asia, you can very clearly see like Rahul Dravid is better than Sachin Tendulkar and Sehwag. So Sehwag is like quite low over there. And when we look at Test cricket, fourth innings, batting in the fourth innings is most difficult because the pitch is generally very deteriorated, and batsmen of very high caliber or technique can only survive. So if you look at Dravid, so Dravid does well outside Asia also, and he does well in the fourth innings also. So even though we like to see Sachin bat, and also Sachin, to me personally, is a better batsman. But when we really purely look at the statistics, I would say like Rahul Dravid was the better batsman in Test cricket. And this is something which was actually recently confirmed by Wisdom also. Wisdom said that last 50 years, Rahul Dravid was the best batsman that India produced. So when we look at data, that is what I was trying to say. So this is like the average of the data. But when I do a postmortem on that data, then I do see something which is different. So always when you get data, so you should know the different statistical things which come into data, and then look at the data from all angles. So maybe you will be able to interpret different things. And in this case, if you look at Sehwag's record, if I am right here, Sehwag has never scored a Test century in the fourth inning, if I am right. But he was very good at giving a good start to India. So all these aspects, when you look at data, so then you can make a different interpretation about the things.